This is the Louie T Network.
Who else could it be but me, Dormant? Louie T, welcome. This is the NFL Power Grid. Week 14 edition. Had a bye week last week, so didn't do this a week ago. So a lot of things have changed since week number 12, when the last time we put out one of these power grids. So let's jump into the proceedings this evening. Let's not delay. Let's go right away to the NFL Power Grid. We start at number 32. Same old team. The Oakland Raiders occupying that last spot. The only one-win team in the entire National Football League, drubbed 52-0 on the road at St. Louis. Enough said. Raiders come in at 32. You go to 31. It's now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, down 3 spots from the last time, to 31. This is a team that had a golden opportunity to get their third win of the season against Cincinnati. Blew that opportunity, lose at home 14-13. So they're the 31st team in the league. Only team in the league without a home victory. So they're number 31. You go to number 30, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars, fresh off of their second victory of the season. An impressive come from behind fashion over the New York Giants, down 21 in that game. They come back and win 25-24. So they go up to number 30. You go to number 29, it's the Tennessee Titans. They are up 1 spot from a week ago, or 2 weeks I should say, as they haven't done anything magnificent, haven't done anything special, but they're a functional 2-win football team, and so they're the number 29th team in the NFL Power Grid. Jets down 2 spots from 26 a couple of weeks back. They were fresh off of that win over the Steelers at home, going into their bye week, playing with a little bit of momentum. 2 weeks later, huge blowout loss on the road against Buffalo at Ford Field. Then you get another loss at home versus the Dolphins. And now you find yourself back down to 28. That's where the Jets reside. You go to 27. Watch the Redskins up 2 spots from their last time on this power grid. And this is through no play of them going up 2 spots. This is strictly because of what the teams around them have done. Redskins have done nothing to deserve to go up 2 spots yet. That's what has happened. They're now 27. You look at the 26th team. They too have moved up a spot. Don't deserve to go up a spot, but because of the trash around them, they've been able to elevate. That's the Carolina Panthers, coming in at 3-8-1 on the season. They're on a nasty skid right now, looking for a win, are those Panthers. You go to number 25, and the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slots remain unchanged from the last time we've done this, so we'll run through them quickly. At 25, New York Football Giants can't seem to buy a win. We're up 21 against Jacksonville. Weren't able to get it done. They come in at 25. At 24, Minnesota Vikings. They were able to get it done at home versus those lowly and woeful Carolina Panthers in blowout fashion, 31-13. They're at 24. Chicago Bears come in at number 23 after not being able to get it done on Thanksgiving. They've got a huge Thursday night matchup versus the Dallas Cowboys. At 22, New Orleans Saints surprised a lot of us by going on the road and beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. They come in at number 22. At the top of their division, tied with the 21st team, the Atlanta Falcons, who also got a huge win at home versus the Arizona Cardinals. So those 2 teams locked up at 5-7 atop the NFC South. You go to number 20, it's the St. Louis Rams. Here's a team that has been playing some extremely good football, despite losing a week ago at the very end with an interception at the goal line versus the San Diego Chargers on the road. They bounced back with a 52-0 blanking of the Oakland Raiders. They're at number 20. So you go to number 19, and this is one of the rarest oddities you will find in an NFL season. Only one team at 500 after 12 weeks of football. That is the Houston Texans. After every team has played 12 games in the league, so essentially after 13 weeks of football, the Texans are the only team in the entire National Football League at 6-6. And so Texans right now are the 19th team in the league. They basically are the Mendoza line. Everybody else below them is under 500. All the teams above them are over 500. So the standard right now, the line, if you will, right now is the 19th team in the league. The only 500 team in the league. the Houston Texans. You go to the 18th team, it's the Cleveland Browns. They're down a spot from the last time we did this, as they've had a little bit of turmoil. They go on the road, win a week ago against Atlanta. Wasn't pretty. 3 interceptions by Billy Ho, but they still get it done. This week they lose in Buffalo. They bitch Billy Ho, come up with some kind of controversy, but Billy Ho remains the quarterback, so we'll see how that turns out. They're 18th right now are the Cleveland Browns. You go to number 17, it's the San Francisco 49ers, down 5 entire spots from the last time we did this when they were 12th. This is a team struggling to score points right now. They barely beat the Redskins, scoring 17 points. They did not beat the Seattle Seahawks on Thanksgiving, only mustering 3 points in that game. They're struggling offensively right now. They've got to get it together. They are 17th on this list. You go to 16, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. I've said this before, I'll say it again. One of the most confusing and most disappointing teams on this entire list is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're inconsistent as inconsistent gets. They lose at home to the New Orleans Saints, who had just come from a 3-game homestand where they went 0-3. Steelers were also coming off a bye, so there was no excuse. They lose at home to New Orleans. They're at number 16, down 7 whole spots from a week or two ago. You go to the the Buffalo Bills. They come in at 15, up 4 spots from the last time we saw these Bills. They were 5-5, looked like they were left for dead after that loss against the Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. 2 weeks later, big beatdown of the Jets. Followed that up with another impressive victory over the Browns at home, and voila, 7-5 Bills, right in the thick of things, up 4 spots on the NFL Power Grid at 15. You go to 14. The biggest loser in week number 14's NFL Power Grid are these Kansas City Chiefs. The last time we did this, they were at number 4. They had peaked in the NFL Power Grid at 4, dropped a whole 10 spots down from 4 to 14. And hey, losing to the Raiders, who were winless at the time, will do that. You follow that up with another loss within the division to the Denver Broncos, and voila, you find yourself at 14, which is where those Chiefs reside right now. You go to 13, Baltimore Ravens, down 2 spots to number 14. Had a golden opportunity after getting it done on the road against New Orleans a week ago. Had a golden opportunity to go home and beat a team that was right in the mix with them, looking to try to get into the postseason in the San Diego Chargers. Had the Chargers up 10 with less than 7 minutes to go in the game. Could not hold on to that lead. They lose in that game, and they drop 2 spots to number 13. You go to number 12, it's the Miami Dolphins. Here's a team. Did not look good on Monday Night Football, but they got the most important thing, the W. They're at 7-5. They are up 2 spots from the last time. They're at number 12. You go to the San Diego Chargers. San Diego Superchargers, up 5 whole spots from the last time. They are one of the biggest winners in the NFL Power Grid this week, as they're up the most spots, tied with another team that we will talk about in a second, up 5 spots from 16 to 11. Chargers, 2 wins in a row. Remember, Chargers started off the season red hot, then went through a malaise. Now they're starting to play good football again. This is the time for them to pick it up, and they're doing exactly that with a huge road win versus Baltimore. Now they've got an even bigger test coming up on Sunday Night Football versus the Patriots. If they can get that one, the Chargers are playing their best football of the season at the right time. They're at number 11. Speaking of biggest winners, the next biggest winner, Cincinnati Bengals, up 5 spots from the last time, just like the San Diego Chargers were up 5. So are these Cincinnati Bengals, up 5 from number 15 all the way to number 10. 2 consecutive victories for this Bengals team has them peaking at the right time. Went on the road, won against the Houston Texans, got it done there. Went on the road again, was not pretty versus Tampa Bay, but again, most important thing, come away with the win. That's what they did. They lead the AFC North right now with a mark of 8-3-1. Cincinnati Bengals getting it done. They're at number 10, one of the biggest winners of week 14. You go to number 9, it's the Indianapolis Colts. 49 points on the skulls of the Redskins in week number 13. Sees this team peak up 4 spots from 13 to 9. This Colts team playing good football, have to go on the road against Cleveland in what could amount to an elimination game for the Browns. That's a big one for the Colts as well, as they're trying to put together a nice string of wins to put that division away and elevate their status in the AFC conference. Maybe even get a home playoff game in the second round if they can get that far. So you move on to number 8, and now we're into the Elite 8 in the National Football League. We start with the Dallas Cowboys. Here's America's team, fresh off of a beatdown at home on Thanksgiving at the hands of the Philadelphia Eagles. They're down 2 spots from 6 to 8. Here's a team that needs a win in the worst way. On Thursday Night Football, they're taking on the Chicago Bears, a place where they're actually returning to the scene of the crime last year where they were smacked around by these Bears in a similar spot. Last year it was on Monday night. This year is Thursday Night Football. Can the Cowboys exact a measure of revenge? They need to, because they cannot afford to lose another game here as they're 8-4 in the season, and not a lot of spots are left in the NFC playoff picture. You go to number 7, it's the Seattle Seahawks. Here's a team that is peaking at the right time. Offensively, they still need to turn it up, but the defense is back to where it needs to be. 2 straight games of only surrendering 3 points, so 6 points total in 2 consecutive games combined. This Seahawks team playing good football. Now they've got one of their biggest tests of the season to date on the road against the Philadelphia Eagles. Somebody's going to come away from that game with their feelings hurt. We'll see if this Seattle Seahawks team can continue to play the type of defense that saw them win the Super Bowl a season ago. They're at number 7, up 3 spots from 10 a week or 2 ago. You go to the number 6 team. It's the Detroit Lions. Huge win on Thanksgiving versus the Chicago Bears, racking up 34 points in impressive fashion. They needed that. They had struggled to score points before this game. To see Matthew Stafford and that offense get off the ground and score points was huge for them. They're at number 6, down 1 spot because of 2 consecutive losses since the last time we've seen them. But again, can't hang your head in shame when you go on the road and lose to Arizona, who was the number 1 team at the time of the loss. And then the next week, lose to the New England Patriots in New England, who was the number 1 team at the time of that loss. So, hey, Lions, don't feel bad about what they're doing. They're at number 6 playing some good football as well. You go to number 5, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. This Eagles team has been lights out at home this season, got a huge home test. Were able to go on the road last week on Thanksgiving and dispose of the Dallas Cowboys to take sole possession of first place in the NFC East. This is going to be a big one if the Eagles can find a way to get this one at home versus the Seattle Seahawks. That will send ripples through the NFC landscape. That will be a huge matchup. If the Eagles can get that one, the Eagles will be on the cusp of doing something big, like maybe getting the 2nd seed in a first-round bye in the NFC playoffs. We'll see. That's a big game. You go to number 4. It's the Arizona Cardinals. They had held on to the number 1 spot for the longest time until they finally met their match in the Seattle Seahawks on the road. Could only muster 3 points in that game. They lose. They follow that up with another loss on the road. This time, this loss came to the Atlanta Falcons. So this team that was once 9-1, now 9-3, and coming back to the pack. I talked about on this very program 2 weeks ago that I was worried about this team going on the road. Well, what did we have? 2 consecutive road losses. Now they're going back home to get some home cooking. They need this one against a tough Kansas City Chiefs defense. That's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see if the Arizona Cardinals can right the ship at home versus the Kansas City Chiefs. They're in at number 4. Now we're into the Elite 3, the final 3. Your Bronze Star team here on the NFL Power Grid is none other than Peyton Manning, the Denver Broncos, coming in at number 3, up 4 spots from number 7. This team has found themselves a new identity, one that features a running game with C.J. Anderson. They displayed that on the road against Kansas City en route to a 29-16 victory. They did it the week before against a very hungry and game Miami Dolphins team, but were able to come out with the victory there. So now they're showing another dimension. This Denver Broncos team, really solid football team. Defensively, they get after you. 2 guys with over 10 sacks on the edges in Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware. Dangerous football team. They come in as the Bronze Star team at number 3. You go to number 2. Same old team. The New England Patriots are at number 2. They go on the road after this hot streak they had been on with wins, and big ones at that, over Detroit Lions, Cincinnati Bengals, and the Indianapolis Colts. They kind of found a way to get through that tough stage and portion of their schedule, but they ran into one final roadblock on the road versus the Green Bay Packers. Could not overcome that one as they lose 26-21. However, that Packers team, damn good one, and so they don't move. They're at number 2 are these Patriots, steadfast. Now they got another huge test. If they can get past this one, they will probably be your number 1 seed in the AFC. Nothing is for certain, nothing is etched in stone, but this is probably going to be their biggest test left on their schedule. If they can get past San Diego on the road on Sunday Night Football, look out for this New England Patriots team as potentially your number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs. And finally, that takes us to our gold star team, the Green Bay Packers, playing outstanding football. Aaron Rodgers and that offense getting it done. The Clay Matthews move to middle linebacker seems to be doing wonders for that defense. They're starting to kick it into gear defensively. We know what this offense is about. Another home contest for this Green Bay team on Monday night, taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Right now at 9-3. If they can continue to win, all roads right now will point to having to go through Lambeau to get to the Super Bowl if you're coming through the NFC conference, and that's a tough place to play football. Green Bay Packers right now playing outstanding football. They are your gold star team right now as your number 1 football team in the entire National Football League. And so that's going to do it here for the NFL Power Grid. Remember, whether your team is hot or cold, up or down, they're somewhere to be found here on the NFL's Power Grid. See you next week.